Yo, peace and power. Welcome to the Road to Nine Figures podcast based on a book. Road to Nine Figures, I tap in with my good brothers, I've tapped in with my family and my staff, and we've always maintained our road to nine figures. When I meet other people for the first time, they ask me, okay, what is the road to nine figures? Of course, nine figures is $100 million or more. So definitely we on the path to that. At the same time, the number nine has a very strong significance. It's very symbolic in a ways. They call it the Trinity of Trinities. Because three is a powerful number, but nine is the three threes. You know what I'm saying? And it's actually the pinnacle of numbers because after you get to the nine, after that you get to 10, and that's really just one and zero starting all over again. There's a lot that I could say about nine, and I definitely will throughout this journey that we're taking. But the first thing I want to do, just get right into it, is to kick off exactly how to use this book. This is a foundational tool and everything that we're going to be doing. You can tap in. They're on the website. You know what I'm saying? Very powerful, very robust. As you see, it's a good size. And really what it is a daily routine journal, right? And it's very important to have a daily routine. So when we deal with the obvious meaning of what is road to nine figures, we look at $100 million. And while wealth is something that's very important, sometimes people look at wealth as something that's superficial or even optional, right? But in the time and space that we're in right now, family, wealth is not optional. It is absolutely essential that we amass as much wealth as possible so that if you are part of the light, if you know you have good ideas, if you have good energy, that you have the wealth and the resource to secure that, to support that, to grow it, to protect it, and to spread it, right? Because the forces of dark, the opposition, is very well funded. So it's very important that we approach the game with a very wealthy mindset. That's really what Road to Nine Figures is all about. It's really before we can attain that wealth, before we can really get to that nine-figure level, we definitely have to have a wealthy mindset, and that starts with a system. And a system is really a routine, right? It's just a series of activities. And what this daily routine journal does is it basically speaks about nine essential steps that we must include in each and every day. The first step is gratitude. The next step is washing for prayer, preparation for prayer. Third step is prayer itself, very important. The fourth step is morning hydration, very important. Very important. The fifth step, of course, is exercise. Healthy body, healthy mind. A healthy mind is a wealthy mind. Meditation is very important. These are key ingredients. Step 7 is write the day. We know that the word write, WRITE, right? We write the day, but we know what we write as a ritual, is right, RIGHT. So this becomes very important. We want to make it a ritual of us writing down the day and just planning it out and detailing it. The eighth step is a contract with self. We definitely in tune with so many contracts. Anytime you sign your name to somebody, understand that is a contract, right? So if you can think about it from that standpoint, imagine how many contracts you entered into in the last 6 months. A lot, right? When you sign your name to the bottom of a receipt, when you swipe your card and they say, oh, yeah, sign right here. This is a contract. This is a contract, right? And that's just the tip of the iceberg. People may have closed on houses. People may have opened up new bank accounts or, equity accounts or whatever they may have done. It always concludes with a signature. It's very important. And these are all contracts, agreements, standard set of agreements that you choose to say, listen, I'm going to acknowledge these agreements and this is what I'm going to stand on. And it's very important that we get into the wealthy habit of going into contract with ourselves on a daily basis. Very important. And the ninth step, my favorite step, is done really in the evening. It's called the after action report. That's where we have a level of reflection. And we just think about, man, what did I learn today? How could I be better today? And we're going to go through these things step by step, each additional episode. But today I'm just going to start with the introduction of the book and the very first tool, the very first step in the 9-step progress is gratitude. And it's something that's so simple, so taken for granted, but at the same time, it's so powerful and profound. We're going to dig right into it today. So when you get the book, you get this book, You got to jump right into it, because if you just let it linger around, it's going to be very easy to create a routine of not doing it, right? And it's also important for me. I did not make a digital version of this book. I made it where it's real and tangible, because the outcomes we want to be real and tangible. And I'll explain the math to that as we go further. As soon as you get into the book, the first page takes you into our Telegram group, so that you have the level of support that's required to maintain yourself on the journey, the camaraderie, if you will. The next step is you're gonna have an opportunity to really write down your actual goals, and it's big. It's a lot of space. It's colorful. We wanted to make sure that you have the room to really think. And then, why is this important? Because so many people have goals, but they never actually wrote them down. You got an idea, but once you write the thing down, you bring it from something that's esoteric or intangible, immediately bringing it into a different realm, into a tangible realm. So this is very important to actually write those goals down. Same reason it's important to write your daily contract. But you get the opportunity to write 6 of your goals. And these can be midterm or long-term goals. Some of them may even be short-term, but it's preferable that you use mid to long-term goals. If I have to find a midterm goal, that's 6 months. And it's many different ways where midterm can be calculated, but in terms of this, it's 6 months or 2 to 2 years. You might even write something greater than 2 years, something that you really need to get started on now. But at least 6 months out is something that's grand enough that you can focus your energy and attention to for the next 6 months. And we'll dig right into that. The next thing is you want to write 10 reasons to win. Because now you got the goals, you know where you're going, right? But now you got to remember why. Why? That's the fuel, that's the motivation, that's the fire. I know where I'm going to go, but you haven't done it because it's so easy to get sidetracked. It's so easy to get pulled to the left or to the right. It's going to be very important that you have those 10 reasons to win, so that when you review the goals, you say, man, this is a lofty goal. You don't change your mind because you got right here written your 10 reasons to win. Why you want to continue on this path. Why it's important for you to sacrifice or push or remain disciplined. It's very important to remember your why. The next step is a very, very powerful piece. It's powerful. A lot of times people utilize things such as vision boards because they want to manifest. They want to keep their vision plain. They want to have a visual aid to say, listen, this is where I'm going. This is what I'm going to do. And that's powerful. I have no negative thing to say about that. At the same time, it's very important in this space is you actually draw with your own hands. It's not an art contest, but you are going to definitely draw with your own hand where your starting point is, and then you're going to draw with your own hand what your future looks like. Very powerful, because the images that come out of your own subconscious, man, it just has a whole different alchemy. Right, so we know that visualization works. We know that keeping a picture works. We know that mesmerizing ourselves and reminding ourselves and imprinting what the future looks like into our own subconscious is important. But when the images come directly from your subconscious, it's 400% more effective. It's 400% more effective, and this is going to be key on your road to 9. Right, the key about this thing is says where you headed. What is the vision? Okay, now let's draw it out. Use the frame below to draw a picture that represents the life you are on the path to building. Draw representations of your income, your relationships, your lifestyle, and your challenges. Depict how much everything has improved. Use pencil and then go over it with color. And it's very important. Now, we look at this particular image every single day. So as this is our daily routine journey, part of our daily routine is just take a minute to look at where we're going. It's so easy to get sidetracked, right? But when we build new habits and we build new neural connections and synapses, we want to build it based on the image and the future that we actually drew out for ourselves. Then you write your contract with self. Now, I'm going to get into all of these. These are the other different steps. But each and every day, it's very simple. This is what it looks like. It's simple. Basic, because it needs to be simple, easy to do, easy to redo, and easy to redo. So it's not designed to be complicated. But the first step is grand rising. List 3 things that you are grateful for. It's a lot of alchemy that happened right there in that first sentence, right? 3 things that you are grateful for. Why is that important? One of the things that I learned on this journey, because I did a lot of research, even though it's simple, the genius is in the simplicity of it. And I didn't write this book as much as I curated centuries and millennia worth of information and put it into something compact. And what I learned is that gratitude is an antidote to depression. It's an antidote to uh, uh, anxiety. It's an antidote to suicidal thoughts. And unfortunately, our community, our world community, our national community, especially our community, my good people, we're plagued by these things. We're plagued by disbelief, disorientation, frustration, suicide, anxiety, depression, all of these different things. But gratefulness, gratitude is an antidote to those things. So we wake up in the morning and the first thing we do before our minds start rolling to, oh, shit, I got to do this. I need to do that. I need to figure out that. Before we start scrolling and figuring out, whatever this person is doing, whatever the algorithm is trying to download into us, we already generating grateful and grateful thoughts. Two things that I learned on the path is there's two times that people are most susceptible to suicide, right? And we look at suicide as the ultimate form of anxiety, the ultimate form of depression, right? For obvious reasons. Is Monday mornings or, right before or right around the holidays. And these are supposed to be times people are supposed to be celebrating and tapping in, but they clapping out. And when you think about it, why do you think it's Monday morning? It's because now the weekend is over and now they got to actually face the world. They got to face perhaps their shortcoming. They got to face something that is, holding them maybe not being as fulfilling as, they would like it to be. And it's rough. It's rough out there. But if you start your day with gratitude, with what you're grateful for, you put a lot of that energy at bay. I put it to you like this. Check it. You ever woke up in the morning and played a song or heard a song, and then that song was with you for the rest of the day. You singing the song, you got other people singing the song. It's a crazy phenomenon. The reason why that's happening is because our brains are looking for, it's like a tuning station, like what we dialing in. And those first thoughts are really the most powerful and prominent thoughts, and those will resonate and vibrate throughout your energy the whole day. So when we start with gratitude, we start off on a positive note. We start on something powerful and something dynamic. I even did a little bit of research. I just got prepared for y'all. Listen, I'm gonna be one that says, listen, I'm in the government because I live in America and all that. I got a driver's license and all of that, right? So that's part of the government. But I don't trust the government. I don't rock with the government for good reasons, right? We don't even gotta go there. But I actually did. I know a lot of people do, and they are useful for a lot of things. Like I ain't, whatever. That's neither here nor there. But this actually is something that's generated by PMCNCBI.gov. And this is something that even the government has to bear witness to the power of gratitude. I'm just going to read a couple of different things. The analysis of 579 patients in 3 articles that show gratitude interventions led to fewer anxiety symptoms. Depression symptoms were assessed in 3 other articles using a patient questionnaire. Analysis showed that patients who underwent gratitude interventions have fewer symptoms of depression. It actually had almost a 7% lower score than the control group. Just expressing gratitude had all of these amazing effects. They break down applicability, they break down the limitations and the strengths, etc., etc. I add the link in the bio just for a little bit more depth and a little bit more, reference, right? Because one thing about this, a fly G on the screen telling you how important gratitude is, but sometimes people need to read it from a verified source. So they know it's not some mysticism or something spooky or something that's alleged. This is documented, it's studied, it's researched, it's verified. And that's why really our very first step is gratitude. And even though it seems simple, it should not be taken lightly because it is extremely powerful. You know what I'm saying? Gratitude is literally the highest vibration. Gratitude is love. You know what I'm saying? That's the highest vibration. If you really want to know. You know what I mean? So that's really it. Like I said, I'm gonna break these down in increments. The step 1 is gratitude. Get yourself organized. You start with your starting documents. You get your goals, get your reasons why. You draw your pictures, and you just kick it right into the day. You tap into the group, and then you get right into it. Because gratitude, when that's your attitude, all you're going to do is exceed and excel in your latitude. That's really your first step on the road to 9 figures. And it's very important, once again, that we hit these 9 figures or even move around with a 9-figure posture, because inflation is going crazy. Artificial intelligence is transforming the world. Social media already transformed the game. So we don't really know what's what. And it's very important that we hold on to the technologies and to the rhythms and to the systems that we already know are top tier, proven to work, biblically proven to work, scientifically proven to work, esoterically proven to work. And any way you want, any lead you want to apply it, nobody ever said nothing is harmful about having daily gratitude. So with that being said, listen, let's start the conversation. Leave me some comments. You know what I mean? If there's something you vibing with, you want more information, by all means, like, subscribe, do your thing, do your thing. This is step 1. We got 8 more steps to go because we definitely on the road to